Welcome to Timeless Chronicles. Subscribe now for captivating content that takes you beyond time. Timeless Chronicles, the 11 most significant walls in world history. Enjoy this video. The Great Wall of China couldn't stop the Mongols or the Manchus. The longest wall on Earth is actually a series of walls, over 13,000 miles of them, built over several hundred years in fits and starts, beginning circa 200 BCE. The fortifications were meant to serve as a big visible boundary to keep the tribes of the north out. However, history says that the wall's ability to hold back invaders was dubious. The Berlin Wall was torn apart by ordinary citizens. The 91-mile wall encircling West Berlin, built by the USSR in 1961, was meant to keep East Germans out of the one enclave of democracy left within the Iron Curtain. And it worked like a charm, until it didn't work anymore. If permitted to cross into West Berlin, the people could escape Soviet rule, as many did before 1961. More than 100 people were killed by East German guards trying to escape over or under the wall. Walls already stand along the US-Mexico border. Operation Gatekeeper in California, Operation Hold the Line in Texas, and Operation Safeguard in Arizona are the names of 3 ongoing initiatives to close off the US border with Mexico. In total, 580 miles of fencing and sturdier wall structures already exist at the border, and areas in between are monitored by sensors that signal Border Patrol agents. The least hospitable areas along the 1,954-mile border are largely not secured, however. Hadrian's Wall in England held off barbaric Scots, built by the Romans. Starting in 122 CE, Hadrian's Wall in England represented the northern border of the Roman Empire and completely dissected the island of Great Britain, with over 73 miles of stone, forts, and moats. For the most part, the wall worked, but it's difficult to say if it was ever really threatened by loosely organized tribes. Many contemporary historians say it was more political symbolism representing Roman might. The Israel West Bank barrier wall costs $260 million annually to maintain. In response to the Second Intifada, Israeli-Palestinian hostilities in the early 2000s, Israel erected an electrified and barbed wire wall along the 199-mile border. The zigzagging wall is actually 422 miles long, however, and said to encroach on long-established Palestinian space. In some ways, it has worked at keeping Palestinians at bay. Northern Ireland peace lines divide Catholics from Protestants. Given to bouts of sectarian violence, Northern Ireland saw its solution in wall building, starting in 1969, as a reaction to a period of unrest known as the Troubles. The purpose of the peace lines, or peace walls, was to divide neighborhoods into Catholic and Protestant zones that were closed off at night. The 1990s saw a resurgence of violence and even more walls sprouted up, eventually totaling 48 walls, mostly in Belfast. The walls of Ston stopped intruders for over 300 years, but couldn't stop Napoleon. The walls of Ston protected the maritime Republic of Ragusa by cutting off the Adriatic Sea peninsula from the mainland. The 4.5-mile wall had 40 towers and 5 fortresses along its border, and was effective in protecting the valuable salt pans, which still operate in today's Croatia, from invaders. The name Great Zimbabwe translates to House of Rock for its walls. Historical Great Zimbabwe was known as the House of Rock for its walled-in security system. Incan walls were the teeth of the puma. Sacsayhuaman, Peru, is the site of a walled complex at the northern outskirts of the city of Cusco, the former capital of the Incan Empire. The city was designed in the shape of a puma, and the walls were said to be the animal's teeth. Construction began around 900 CE and lasted for hundreds of years. The Red Snake in Iran was second only to the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of Gorgan, aka the Red Snake, is named for its uniform red bricks that were baked in kilns likely in the 5th and 6th centuries CE. Further bolstering the wall, and meant to protect Iran from threats such as the White Huns of the north, were 30 fortresses along its 195-kilometer length and a canal. Only the Great Wall of China was longer. The Roman walls of Lugo are 1,700 years old and still mostly intact. The city of Lugo in northern Spain celebrates its Roman relics that encircle the inner city. The Roman walls of Lugo were constructed starting in the 3rd century CE and were designed as a barrier against Germanic peoples of the north, whom the Romans considered barbarians. Despite power shifting, borders changing, and empires falling over the centuries, the walls remain mostly intact. An invasion of the city from the north was not to blame for its eventually falling out of the Roman sphere.